Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. So not that long ago, I made a video going over the overworld base for my Space Astronomy / Galacticraft series that I was doing with my friend VJ. And I showed you guys at the end of that video a space station that was not fully covered in that video, but that's what this video is for, to go over this space station and what it entails and what this is going to allow us to do with playing from now on. So, today, like I kind of just said, is a brief overview of the space station. Let's start on the outside. So here's what the space station looks like from the outside. So it's a pretty massive space station, if I'm being honest, because we have a lot of stuff going on here, and this is made to be the basis of all of the traveling from here on out. So that's why we need to keep adding on to it. It's going to get bigger as we find more stuff that we need, but also we're trying to make sure it's as user-friendly as possible. It's pretty long and not that wide, just kind of like a real space station. When I was looking up designs to make this, I wanted to make sure it actually looked like a space station, not just a random block in space. So we have these airlocks here, which again just allow us to keep the air that we have on the inside in, which is the premise behind it. And this long walkway, over here we have some of these small machines that we have just kind of running the electric compressor. So if we need to compress anything, metallurgic infusers, you know, there's a lot of just machines in this series that you need to have, and that's what these rooms on here are for. Over here we have the smelters, I think is what these are, and what they're not running right now, and the reason for that is we just don't need anything right now because we kind of stopped playing for a little bit. But these would actually auto bring in the stuff that we wanted to smelt, but then auto take it out when it was done and add it into the system. So either we just don't need anything smelted, or it's already done all the smelting that we needed to do. Let's see, down here we don't really have anything. This is just kind of future expansion. This was kind of like an idea because I saw this, but I guess you can actually add like robotic limbs and arms to yourself in this game or with this mod. So I'm kind of confused on what it's going to actually do. So I made a room for it so I can actually learn what I can do with it. But that's what this room is for. Nothing down here yet. Again, we want to prep for future expansion when we need stuff. So that's why we have all of this. Down here, you can actually see the piping that we have. So we have conduit, which takes power to all of our other stuff and to our oxygen generators or distributors. This will give us a big bubble around this entire space station. We have multiple of them to make sure we have enough oxygen to be able to walk around without a spacesuit if we need to. So you'll see these pipes going all the way down. Right here we have our NASA workbench so we can make our rockets and whatnot. Over here we can go to the nether from our space station, but also to the mining world. So if we need to go mine anything or add a quarry, we can go ahead and do that. Down here is actually where we would take off from the rockets. So we actually have two of them. So one is for me, one is for my friend VJ when we're playing. And these are actually really big. So we actually have a 3x3, but it's made to launch a 5x5 rocket because the rockets do get bigger than a 3x3 in this game. These computers here are actually just only for aesthetics because I like how they look from the outside. Especially for a launch system, it looks really cool. But we actually have a taller system. So when we get to the bigger rockets, we can actually get to the other areas on top of it to add the different components because the base is so big, but then you need to add the next part. So this allows us to just add the next part up and up. We don't need to fly. We actually just use these elevator blocks, and these will again allow us to get to the taller portions of that rocket, and we can walk from other end to other end, so we can actually do that at the same time and not have to worry about going from one to the other and then all the way back down just to go to the other launch pad site. If we need to, we can do all of it because they're connected. So it's a pretty cool design, and I think it works pretty well. We have used it twice because we got to the moon, which we have a moon base, which I can show you guys here in a little bit, and then we can cover that in another video. So right here we have some portals that will take us to the overworld base, but to one of the other space stations that we have. The other space station was the starter one, but then I found out, okay, I know a better way to make it. And so what I did was made another one. In the middle of this entire space station, we actually have the reactor. So the reactor is the most important part of the space station because it powers everything. We don't have any other power banks. Oh wait, no, we do have power banks just in case. But this is the main source of power. You can see that it takes up a lot of space, and we want everything to revolve around this because it's the most important thing, and it allows us to get power distributed evenly throughout the entire base. So over here, we have our ME system, which actually looks massive. We have a lot of hard drives going on, but that's not even half of them. If we go behind, you can see a lot more hard drives. The reason why we have this many hard drives is simply for the reason of we want to keep using the space station, and the more we play this game, the more we're going to be using up these hard drive spaces. You can see we have 3 or 4 or 5, something like that, full right now. But again, that will not include stuff from this will include stuff from other planets as well. Once we get to them, everything will come back to here, and we want to connect everything together. One of the cool things is anything that we mine and put from the moon onto into that ME system, it actually auto transfers over to here. So no matter what world we go to, we can actually bring everything back into this ME system right here. So we don't need to have different ME systems throughout every single world. They are all connected to here, and this is our hub. Over here, we have the charging stations for our suits. So the suits require jetpacks, and those suits require power. And so this is the power room, so we can charge everything for the suit itself and make all of the parts. You can kind of see here, I've already had to use a chest piece. Over here, we have some power banks just in case our reactor is turned off for whatever reason. If we need to maintenance it, make it bigger, we have some power banks that will continue to give us power. Let's see. Over on the other side, we actually have the refinery. I think that's what it's called, or smeltery, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. But here's where we can actually make weapons, blocks of like iron, stuff like that. Better weapons, anything we need, we can make here. These blocks on top are redstone repeaters or timers, so that way it can actually auto sort by itself into these different casting basins, I think is what they're called. So we don't need to manually be here and clicking every single faucet. We will actually have these do it for us. So again, we can actually collect anything that we want. So we can tell this to make something, and it will auto pull that material and start making it. I guess we just need power right now. So lava, and then it would actually start making all that stuff for us. This here takes us to the moon, that portal, which we will not be going there yet. Over here, I forgot what these are called, but I think it's pretty much just it pretty much just allows us to sleep. I think it's like a cryo chamber, I think is what they're called. So I just add 2 of them, one for me, one for VJ again. So over here is actually where we're making the fuel for the rockets. So again, as we make bigger rockets, we need more fuel. So we have a machine to make the fuel for us. So this is the squeezer. So this will actually make our fuel for us. But then it will keep making it as long as we have the resources for it. But once it's done, it will actually bring that all the way up and over and into this bay here. So this is actually a full thing of fuel that we have. But then once we start loading rockets, it will actually auto take from this refinery and into the rockets themselves. So again, everything is automated so we can speed things up as quickly as possible and less work for us and less steps. So again, once we add a rocket, it should take the fuel from here and auto put it into the rocket. So over here, we have some oxygen generators, so where we're getting the oxygen from, which I will show you where we're getting the oxygen from here in a minute. But then over here, we have our farm because we still need to eat, so we have the auto farmers to plant and take everything, but also the inferium essence is very important in this series, so we need to have a lot of that. So this is actually the biggest room on the entire space station, just so we can still have our food when we're playing survival. So I said we're not fully done yet, and the reason for that is if I go up, here's where we're getting all the oxygen. So this right here, we have a lot of leaves with a lot of oxygen collectors. So this is collecting oxygen from all the leaves and taking it and making it livable in our space station. So that's what's pretty cool about that. But down here, down low, is where we have another farm. So I found out we had more space underneath the reactor, because also we need to get into the bottom of the reactor every now and then. Not too often, but just every now and then. And so I wanted to utilize this space, so I made a small farm. And down here you can see a lot of the piping and how it works. All the things are interconnected together, and it looks really cool. So again, you can kind of see the fuel here going underneath from that thing we had upstairs, and it will take it again over to the rockets when we have them. But you can see just all the different routing that we have for everything. And the reason why we have this is to keep this all organized. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, is to not be organized and see just wiring and conduit routing everywhere. Every now and then I don't mind seeing it. That's why I added the glass here to kind of show it. But I don't like it being where I'm walking all the time because it can get in the way. And this way it keeps it nice and clean and nice and organized. But yeah, that's about it for the space station, guys. So I think it looks fantastic. We have one other base in the series so far, which is a moon base, which again kind of goes back to here. So the moon base is a lot smaller, but this is what our space station looks like. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and I'm really proud of it, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And again, I wanted this to actually feel like a space station and look like a space station, and not just a random block in the, in space. So let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. And one last thing to add on, if you didn't see my video last time from the overworld base, I am actually streaming and recording more again. I know I have made those promises before, and I have not always followed through on those promises when it comes to recording again, but I'm actually going to be streaming every week, 3 or 4 times a week over on Facebook. So if you want to follow me over there on Facebook Live, go ahead. The link will be in the description, top link. It will take you there, and you can actually follow me and ask your own questions. We will not be playing Minecraft all the time. We will be playing it every now and then if we're playing this series, but you're going to see a lot of other content from me over there, and I'm more passionate than ever to get back into doing all of this. I'm ready to go. I've had my break, and it's time to get back into it. So if you guys want to go follow me over there, I would greatly appreciate it. Again, the link will be in the description, or just go to www.facebook.com/meta4games, META and the number 4 games, all one word. And it will take you to my page where you can see videos I post, funny stuff that I post. I'm being a lot more active over there than I have ever been here on YouTube. So I would appreciate it if you guys go and follow me over there. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It is greatly appreciated. If you didn't see the overworld base that I did, go check that out because it is fantastic. And it will kind of give you a preview of how we got to the space station and how we got all of this made. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It is greatly appreciated, and keep an eye out for the moon base. That's going to be the next video. So bye bye, guys.